Do you know why you've been brought here?
No, I have no idea. We received many reports that you misled your viewers. No, I didn't. You released a new video on wireless charging keyboard version 2, but it wasn't wireless at all. There was clearly a physical cable connected to the keyboard. Wait, let me explain. I arrived at that solution after many iterations through an agile development process.
Are you trying to mislead us further with all those flowery words? Your keyboard is connected by a cable. It is wired.
Okay, wait, hang on. At least hear me out for just 2 minutes. Let me explain.
Alright, fine. But if I can't accept your answer, we will take action.
There are clear steps to this development process. The first step is identifying the actual user problem, and they were firstly, the visible cable. I wanted the desk to look clean and cable-free. And secondly, I needed to be able to move the keyboard into different positions when I need the space for other things, but still be able to continue using the keyboard. And thirdly, I wanted the keyboard backlight to be lit up when in use without needing to charge it all the time. The wireless keyboard I bought solved the first two issues, but having to charge it often was a huge hassle, especially if I want to leave the backlight on. I basically had to charge it almost every night. The first video I did back in April 2020, I used a wireless Qi receiver that I connected to the keyboard and taped it to its underside. I then installed the Qi charger into the desk invisibly, and by positioning the keyboard in the right spot, it would function as if it was connected to a power source, and I would still be able to freely move it around when needed.
That was your first video in April 2020. That one was acceptable. No one reported that because it's truly a wireless keyboard that had no cables connected to the keyboard. But this video that you just uploaded, there's a cable.
Yes, I'm getting to that. The problem with the Qi charger was heat. Because of how it was installed into my desk, it was trapping a lot of heat. Similar setups usually leave at least one side of the charger exposed to airflow, but in my setup, it was sealed into the desk. Adding on the constant use over a 6-month period, it wasn't surprising that it started to fail. It couldn't charge any device for more than a couple minutes. That's why I went back to the drawing board and came up with this new idea. With the Qi charger, I already had to put the keyboard in an exact position to get power. The margins I was working with was already very tight, hence I thought, why not do a MagSafe style docking connector instead, similar to the ones I use with my iPhone and iPad. Hence, I bought another of these base US magnetic cables with a USB-C head and an L-shaped adapter, and now instead of docking it into the Qi charger wirelessly, I can just dock it into the magnetic head in my desk. The keyboard still functions completely wirelessly. The cable only supplies power, so when I disconnect it and move away, I can continue to use the keyboard. And honestly, if you think about it, there was always going to be a wire. Previously it was the cable to the Qi charger, now it's a cable to this keyboard dock instead. The user experience didn't change at all. In fact, I think it improved. Now it is even easier to just snap the keyboard into place versus trying to find that right spot for the Qi charging to engage. And there are no more heat issues as well. So isn't this like a great improvement?
Alright, fine. We'll let the viewers decide. If they think this idea is good, they'll hit that like and subscribe button. If not, you better not leave town. We'll be watching you and monitoring you closely.